Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we find ourselves in southern Arizona, actually right across the street from Fairbank, which was actually one of the first videos I ever did for this channel. Fairbank is over there across the street, but we are at a different location, and I don't know how I let this one slip past when I was here before, but this is called the Little Boke's Ranch, and it was founded in the early 1900s. It looks like we're the only ones out here today. We're gonna check it out. Nice day to be down here. I haven't been down in southern Arizona in a while. So let's see what we can learn about this place. So these are federal lands here. At some point, this property was taken over by the BLM. They just had that sign here. So, see a bunch of corrals here. They're in fairly good shape. And a cool, ooh, I walked right into a spider web. It almost looks like these were painted at one point. Maybe fairly recently. This is an original, because you can see the paint that was dripping on the ground over there. Probably tried to paint them to make them look nice. It looked like they were originally maybe red at one point. They just put a new coat of paint on them. So the parking area is there, and we have the corrals here, and then there are a bunch of buildings that I saw on Google Maps. So we're just gonna take a walk down here. It's not too bad out here temperature wise today. It's only about 91, I think. 91, yes. Pretty decent sized set of corrals. So it looks like this road is going to lead us further down into the property where we're going to find the buildings. And they just kept the corrals up here, I guess. Looks like an old feed trough. And we got this back here. Okay, we got some foundations right there, and there's a building here. I wonder what they had on these cement blocks here. Some sort of machinery. Interesting. This is quite interesting. We got some sort of a boiler right here, and it looks like at some point maybe something was sitting on this right here. Look inside there. Now I know there are a few more buildings. This is just one of them. The Gem City Boiler Company from Dayton, Ohio. Oh, here you go. Here's a look inside. Pretty cool little building. It looks like maybe this was part of the stack right here. That looks like you can see where it went out at one point. Square head bolt. Almost looks like a frame to like a trailer or something, but it's not. You know, I almost wonder, maybe it was just a well or something, but I'm not seeing any, I mean, unless there was something under here. You can actually see oh yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and say this was a well, and then they had a pump that was pumping the water, and then there was something outside maybe where those cement foundations were. Always put stuff back the way you found it. Okay, let's continue and see what else we can find. Looks like a little river here. You can see which way the water has gone this way, and the force of it has pushed these bushes over and piled all that stuff up right there. Never underestimate the power of water. This is interesting. Huh. Here we got another little river. There's the train tracks. Interesting. Maybe that was just a footbridge or for vehicles. Alright, so we're getting closer. Should be around the bend here. And we're gonna be crossing the train tracks here. Or, I mean, I think this was a railroad here at one point. And the ranch is right down here. Walked about a mile maybe. That looks newer. That's newer. That one has a modern door and windows, so I'm not sure if that's part of the original ranch or not. It could have just been updated. I don't know. That's interesting. I will take a closer look. I knew we were getting closer to the ranch because I saw the cluster of trees. And we're actually pretty much right on the banks of the San Pedro. So they probably wanted to put the buildings closer to the water, or the river, for water purposes. Yeah, those are not old buildings. They got power and everything. It's really interesting. I mean, that right there is an old building, that, but I don't know what that is right there. The ranch could have been used in the later years. Okay, this is the entrance to the ranch. And I felt like I walked 10 miles. Everything was probably modernized at one point. That tree fell on that, unfortunately. This is what I like to call a ghost ranch. Let's see if we can peek in the windows here. Watch out for any slithering critters. They're far out. Got another building right here. So, water pump. I wonder if the wells are dry or not. That's how you would operate. No water in them. Let's check out this building first. There's another small little one over there. It smells like black mold. Another little I wonder what this one was. This is interesting. I wonder what they use this for. Got some chicken wire over here. Something with animals, obviously. I wonder if these were feed. I put feed in them. Maybe. Okay. Interesting. Building here was for structure for some sort of animal, or I'm not sure what animal was in here. You got a tank over here, and then this building, I'm not too sure. I'm really not trying to go into these because they just smelled horrible inside. Well, maybe we can. This one's a little more open. Let's see. Oh, this one doesn't look too bad. Oh, it's interesting. Got some corrugated metal. Maybe this is a workshop of some sort. So I was actually able to pull up a list of what remains here at this ranch. The ranch house was the red brick building. And then you had the foreman's house, which was a white wooden frame building. I think that was that first building on the left was the foreman's house. The ranch house was the red brick building. Blacksmith shop was an adobe building next to the barn. I have pictures here. Because I have a list and it says what's what, so I'm just trying to identify everything here at this ranch. That might have been the ranch house. Interesting. So you have this area in here, and then you can't get to the rest of the structure from in here. It's interesting. So this building here was the ranch house. red brick. Ranch house, foreman's house. Okay, that's the smokehouse, the red frame building. Okay, so that was the smokehouse that we were in over there taking a quick break. Interesting stuff. And it's kind of in rough shape, but still pretty cool to come out and see. Unfortunately, like I said, the building is just, they smell nasty when I poke my head in there, and I don't want to go in there. I usually go in abandoned buildings, but that one just, it stank, and plus it's hot out and that doesn't help any. So the foreman's house was actually almost bigger than the ranch house in a way. Oh, that breeze feels great. So it looks like they were trying to board it up and keep everything secure, but like we saw before, this one here, the boards must have fallen off. And I'll show you. What's interesting is that you have part of a door there. That's a modern setup right there. So this was obviously used in later years. But it started in the 1900s. This building looks to be in the best shape of all of them, honestly. This one doesn't smell that bad, but it doesn't look like there's anything interesting in here to see. So we're just going to close this and continue on. Okay, let's keep going. No ticks. I keep checking myself for ticks out here. So there's the blacksmith shop in the barn. I'm gonna check out the blacksmith shop first. That's interesting. It's pretty cool. This is the blacksmith shop. A tree fell in this one too. That's a shame. Yeah, if I had long pants I would go in there, but I don't, so. And here's the barn. Not much in here. Some fittings and pipe fittings and tools and things. Wow. Just a lot of spare storage. Got some barbed wire. All these poles, I'm not sure what all this stuff is right here. Fence posts. Wood. Here's the basic rundown on this place. A businessman and his partner purchased the Boke's land grant from a family in Sonora. And a guy named Hurst, George Hurst, became the sole owner of this property. And he started selling off parcels of the land for town sites, mills, ranches, farms, and a railroad, which is one of the things I was pointing out. And he was responsible for much of the early development of this whole region, basically. So then in 1891, the government, so when silver and copper were discovered in Tombstone and Bisbee, there was a big rush of incoming settlers. And the only land with a reliable source of water for miles around, Mexican land grants along the San Pedro River, which were near, quickly filled up with homesteaders and settlers. There were a lot of, ranches and homesteads in this whole area in that time. So then in 1901, the Hearst family sold the Boke's land grant to this called the Kern County Land and Cattle Company. It was a large mining and ranching conglomerate based out of California. And then Kearns formed the Boke's Land and Cattle Company in 1901. They had raised cattle from the new headquarters established 2 miles south of Fairbank called the Little Boke's Ranch, where we are now. And they moved to clear out their rangeland for cattle by evicting all the squatting homesteaders. So the Boke's allowed only a handful of favored families in their business to remain in Fairbank. So Fairbank and Boke's Ranch, I guess, kind of worked hand in hand if you think about it. In 1971, the Tanico Oil Company gained title to the Boke's land grants through the acquisition of the parent Kern County Land and Cattle Company. And then this area was acquired by the BLM in the 80s, 1986. And this is what it is now. A ghost ranch that has stood the test of time. Whoa, was that a bat? You gotta be sleeping during the day. Pretty cool history. It's a cool little ranch property. I'm sure it was much nicer back in the 80s when it was first acquired by the BLM. It's withstood the test of time. It's holding out okay, It could be a little better maintained, and they obviously could have allowed people to drive back here. Would have saved me a long walk. Some corrals, and I don't know if these are. I don't know if these corrals are related to the ones we saw in where I parked my truck up there. I thought maybe it was part of the Boke's Ranch, but maybe it was part of Fairbank before the paved road was put in the middle there. So I'm not 100% sure. There's some sort of machine over here. Let's see what this is. Oh, it's a wood chipper. It's a little wood chipper. I'm not sure what that has. A government license plate on it. It looks like this is just their maintenance shed for this area or something. I wonder why the door is cracked open like that. I wonder if we can close it. I don't think they would want people coming in here. Oh, I can't close it, unfortunately. Oh, that's not good. That building, that's still in use. Probably BLM owns the stuff in there. I don't know about this one. That's some pumps and equipment and pipes. I wouldn't be surprised if the BLM has stuff in here too. Absolutely nothing. Huh. Man, I would love to have a shop like this at home. Oh, you got a lizard stuck in here. Look at this. Yeah, you got a lizard in here. Whoa, hello. Are you stuck in there, little buddy? He's stuck in here. Oh, I don't know where he went. Huh. Hopefully that lizard can find a way out. All right, I guess we got some clouds coming in. I guess that's gonna be a wrap for this one. A couple little modern things. Ranch was pretty interesting. Not much in terms of interesting artifacts or anything. So with that said, we're gonna hike back to the truck, and that's gonna be it. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. We'll see you in the next one.